Hey guys, MODC Architecture here, aka Matt Cooper, and welcome to another video. It's safe to say that there are many factors that affect an architectural design. However, there are several main factors which drive the way an architect creates a proposal. Reaching a design that clients will appreciate is not easy, especially if there are already trends that influence the design of a building being made at the time. For example, a movement, postmodernism, brutalism, that kind of thing. Things like materials, construction, culture, systems, whatever can come into play. Small things which undergraduate architectural students sometimes may not realise is that commercial staircases can really affect the outcome of design. It can be a really annoying constraint. But let's get into the video. Here are some of the things that an architect might think about first before making the final draft. First of all, the geography of a place is an essential factor in architecture. It's where architects can base their design elements. Some of the things that should be thought of when it comes to geography are the topography, or the location, or the place which they wish to construct their building. This is one of the first things that surveyors do, which is to evaluate a location before a building. The geography or site of a proposal give the design those early constraints to start considering before the design has even begun. Questions start to arise, such as what could the area do with programmatically? Side note, if you didn't know, program or programmatically, whatever, is essentially what things are around the area that are already there. So for example, the program of Canary Wharf would be a lot of office spaces, restaurant spaces, bar spaces, and public transport spaces, but there isn't really any residential spaces. So if you were designing a building for Canary Wharf, perhaps you'd look at a residential building to fill that programmatic gap. Right, back to the video. So other questions might arise, such as how big is the site? What are the ground conditions? What are the environmental conditions, etc.? You get the idea. There's a lot of analysis which needs to be done to understand the area you're designing for, both professionally and also if you're doing your degree. There are two sides of this, your degree side and your professional side. Secondly, continuing on from one of the questions I proposed, the climate. Climate is all about the weather conditions of a place. With this, architects have the choice of making designs that are tough if the weather conditions of the location look harsh. On the other hand, a different design is made if the location is perhaps sunnier than usual. You wouldn't design the same building for the Sahara Desert as you would in London. That's essentially what I'm saying here. You've got to design for the location, for the climate, for the local climate of the area. Architects try to make their designs as precise as possible, and possibly even from the get-go. Personally, I like to be a bit more sort of over the top with my initial sketches and then rein it back into an architectural proposal. That's how I find I make my best work. However, it may be different for you. It doesn't matter. Either way, some buildings are beautifully constructed inside and out, so creating a viable commercial stair design actually can really help cement that overall atmosphere that you're trying to convey in the design. A staircase, really, honestly, they're a nuisance to architects unless you can use it to your advantage, and do try to, because if you get that staircase right, the atmosphere of the space you're trying to create will be conveyed properly, and there won't just be a great big stairway in your way. That would be awful. The next point is religion. Now, some clients don't have any special requirements pertaining to religion. However, some have and would ask architects to cater to those requirements. Aside from that, there are locations where religion is a big deal to the community, and that constructing a building which could be offensive is a massive no-no for the area. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that. So, you'd get kicked off the project and someone else would come and take your design. With that, though, with the religion, considerations are obviously specified. There are some incredible precedents which really highlight this, and I will leave those precedents in the description, actually, or one of the precedents that I'd like to show as an example. In fact, I'll leave a precedent for all these points in the description, whether that's site analysis to, religious design. Like with religion, culture is another determining factor in designing a building. For example, if the client is Chinese, the owner may want the building to be designed according to Feng Shui beliefs. Architects need to bend their design aesthetic and talk to their clients on how they can make the building flow and follow these requirements. For example, Zaha Hadid architects had to adhere to the Feng Shui constraints with the Morpheus building in Macau. However, had to respect a different cultural constraint when designing the Haydar Aliyev Cultural Centre in Tel Aviv. Next, technology has paved the way for many buildings and establishments to be fully functional. Having a building automation system is one of the more obvious signs that technology has really helped in making structures systemised and functioning to their full capacity. Additionally, technology makes it easier for everyone coming in the building or the ones using it to access areas or feel comfortable. Penultimately, very importantly, the visualization techniques of architects are undeniably important. They're responsible for making innovative designs that clients love. They can incorporate anything the mind desires into a spatial concept. The real skill of an architect, though I believe at least, is being empathetic towards your client, really attempting to create a connection with your client, or in a student's case, your brief, will really help you go a long way to realising a more personalised and architecturally interesting design. Following on from that, finally, architectural design is as important as the engineering aspects of a building. Of course, for an architectural design to be viable, it needs that structural stability that engineers can ensure it has. After long meetings and a lot of discussion, the design will be finalised. However, what I must say about architecture is that a design is never finished. The beauty of that creative desire you have inside of you is that it drives your will for the design to be perfect, no matter how long it's taken. I personally think that a design is never finished. It could always be improved. There's always something you can do to refine that form, that figure, the program, whatever you want. There's always something that you could do to make it that much better. For example, I've continued my third year project from Brighton, now in third year at the AA. I've continued that project to improve it. Not much because of time, I'm doing this, I'm doing my degree at the AA, doing a couple of other things on the side, but it's the concept, it's the idea that you can always just produce something slightly better with each iteration that you produce. In my opinion, the world would be a dull place without architects, let's be honest. We express emotion, culture, innovation, and history through our work, and I hope you watching this video will strive to make the world a better place through your designs. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I really enjoyed making this one. I've really enjoyed getting into sort of what makes an architectural design tick, and what is the meaning of what we do, and it is to make the world a better place through expression and obviously pleasing our clients as well, or making the best student work you can based on the brief that you've got. Anyway, please do leave a like and subscribe if you're new around here, and hit that notification bell while you're at it, just so that you know when I upload. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one, and bye!